So first off, I just want to say nice catch. I didn't quite see that. Um, that the comps that we're looking at that 580 mark were had unfinished basements. So yeah, that was a good catch. But I was basing on the five. I was by my ARV is around 580. So this is what I was looking at. But I'm glad you caught that because that's going to revalue everything. All right, so here's my criteria: 0 to 90 days, single family. Here's our square footage range. Here's a map of our neighborhood. So I don't know if if you went outside of this area, because if you go out here, your stuff will get pretty expensive, especially it's stuff that kind of borders this open space. That stuff gets higher priced. So our results, the only one I saw was this 449, and because that's so much higher, that over that 10% rule, and we need to redo our instructions. So it needs to be 10% off of the second sold. So if it's 10% higher than this second sold, we got to discount it. We just got to get rid of it because that just doesn't make sense compared to everything else we're looking at. This is a new build, and that's probably why it is. It was built 2020. I don't know. So yeah, this is a new build, and they've got 2,400 square foot finished. But if we go to this 589, this is also a newer build, right? That's a really nice looking house, 2,400 square foot as well. So I'm not sure where you went to get if you just went right to this highest sold, but we really can't use that because it doesn't make sense to the other ones. Here's another one that this has one picture, but that one just got built. So, and then we scroll on down, 575, and it's pretty nice inside. This is what you're talking about. The basement's unfinished. So that's a good catch. So, but I would still value this at that 580 mark, just because we can't push it any higher. There's nothing here besides this one, which is a new build that puts it at 589. But I mean, why would we go to that 650 over that 589? Because we don't typically go that when this high sold is that much higher than the next one, over 10%. Remember, we discount it. So and that rule, that 10% rule, actually works here because investors aren't going to want to use that. All right, so the only thing I can think of is that you went back 180 days since we don't really have any under contracts. And I'm going to tell you how I'd go about this one. So you got some 660s, 3,000 square foot, 2,900. So let's say you use that one, but it's such an old sale. I mean, you're talking what, 130, 140 days. So we got to discount that one. What, 9%? What does our sheet say? So we discount 7%. So that's 660 times 7, so 0.93 puts this one at 613 based on our numbers. So we'd use an ARV of 613 on that, right? And now there's that new build. $639, 2,600 square foot. Wouldn't call this a fresh remodel. Let's see. Let's look at that kitchen. So remodeled in the last 5 years. When did that sell? So a similar situation. That's roughly 8, so 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 120 days plus, oh, now we're at the 6, so 120. We're at 150. So both of them are really about that 9%. So this one you discount 9%. 639 times 9%, so 0.91. Nope, sorry. 639 times 0.91 would put us at 581 on a purchase price there in ARV. So I'm kind of still hovering around that 580 mark on this. So here's another way that I would go about this. Since you discovered that a lot of these down here, the basements are unfinished. So if we're going back to recent solds, that we could run with this, but now I would definitely point that out that we're running with these 580s, but they also have unfinished basements. So there's these 560s. Wait, did I do that right? So, oh, here we go. Our finished. No, we want our finished. Where we're at. There we are. So our finished 25, 23, 24, 21. Ours is 1,900 square foot finished. So I definitely make note of that. But I would still stick around that 580 mark and note in a lot of our comps that these are also unfinished, some of these. Like this one right here would be a good comp if it's even fixed up. Pretty fixed up in there. That's really nice. So they got 1,900 square foot. That's a great comp. We would sell ours at 561, but now we can discount our rehab as if it's a level 1. So we're not finishing out the basement. It's like we're taking the basement out of it. So that's where I was going with that. So since we're going to use comps that don't have finished basements, we can take that back out. So now, since we're taking out the finished basement portion, I'd comp it like that. So it'd be a level 1. We no longer have that. So let's say we're running at that 561. Or if we want to run at that 580, I would run it at, I'd still run it with a 3 because we're going to finish out the basement. Let's run it at this 561. But we're going to run at this level 1. And we're going to put in 55,000. Puts us at 382. Okay. Let's say we're going to run it at the level 3. And we're going to sell it at 585. That's what we came up with before. But we know our rehab's going to be on the lower end of that. It's a pretty nice house. So we're going to probably be at 85,000. Because the upstairs doesn't need a ton of work. It's just the basement. So we're going to be at that 553. So that's how I would look at it. So again, I don't know where you're looking at for those higher solds. Maybe shoot me a video and let me know.